I'll get straight into the mix and say that whenever it comes to every artist in which you see, every music producer, every fucking filmmaker, just anybody of whom creates, okay? Everybody that creates always does it through spirit. And the thing is that one doesn't have to particularly make a fucking deal in order to do shit by spirit, because we're always doing shit by spirit. So it just depends on what information you're getting and depending on which spirit you're healing. For instance, there's motherfuckers of whom, those artists that paint paintings of whom they are depressed and shit. Well, they're heating a spirit in which they're conveying through their paintings what sort of spirit that they're heating. So that's why whenever it comes to paintings per se, it gives you a peek into the lives of those of whom make it, and especially who they are in accordance with who they're interacting with on the internal level. But I'll go ahead and gift out a prose. Now, I said I was going to do my channelings on another page, but I'll go ahead and do this because whenever it comes to my other shit, I'll teach more about the idea and fundamentals of magic on that basis, and especially my more personal experiences with what was not the right thing to do and that which is the right fucking thing to do. So I'll do it that way. I'll just go ahead and gift these out because whenever it comes to, well, these sorts of things, it's not really elaborated that I should be keeping them only to myself, other than, well, fucking shit of which if curious seekers of fucking spiritual occult are fucking interested, then they'd be a-okay with learning that. So I'll go ahead and read it out. Okay. Essentially, this was a partial of a prose in which I wrote on my Facebook, but I wrote the rest of it down. But I didn't realize that there was actually a spirit that was fucking connected to it, and which they gave me that realization that every fucking artist all heed spirits. It doesn't matter whether you fucking fuck with the occult or don't. So I'll go ahead and get into the prose and what it was referring to. So it's entitled God's Favor. Who does begetter and baird favor the most? It was asked privately. The knower of every quality within man that exists within themselves. This one is favored, for they balance wisdom with understanding, compassion with passion, both determiner and determined, that leads their life in the likeness of God. In an effort to understand why this wasn't known, it was partitioned. Why has the teachings been derelict in their proceedings amongst the civilizations that came? This being that's traced with the golden circle upon the crest of the head and the navel. Now, I did give descriptions of the spirit of which I was speaking to, and it spoke in conjunction. They evaluated the words of scriptures, yet they didn't have a proper sight. It was never about the teachings, but the eyes that see the written word. For if the eye cannot see proper, so too will they not comprehend. For clarification, I also asked then, how can one see proper then? The angel with wings of iron and silver, with light going to and fro, the tips of the wing to the spine, pretty much reciprocated this. Behold the entirety of what is said and unsaid, what is done and undone, what is imagined yet longs to be imagined, every facet in which God exists. For God exists in all, for it's both horrific and majestic. This eye shall see proper, as it does not partake in only a part of the Maker. So after conversing, I asked for its name. Now, this is pretty much after the prose in which I wrote it down, what it was named as, and also the station in which the spirit was at. And it called itself Lazulas. No, not fucking the stone lazuli, unless if that's actually meant for somebody in particular who is watching this video. Then go ahead and look up the meaning of the stone lazuli and see what it brings out whenever it comes to revelations for yourself. And pretty much this is its station, the spirit of which I didn't realize was connected to it. The intermediary between knowledge of social... Oh, fuck. Ugh. Hold up, I'll do it again. I didn't realize I was going to have a fucking stutter fest in that split moment. So it's essentially the spirit that's the intermediary between knowledge of logical deduction and spiritual apprehension. He guardeth the seat which wisdom sits, acting as nurturer and fellow keeper amongst the halls of knowledge where destruction equals veneration and veneration equals destruction. All right, finally said that in that correct pace. And yes, I'm pretty much changing up my fucking my style. And whenever it comes to me, I'm not fucking doing Magic Mike just yet. And I think the movie seasons are fucking ending. So it's like, oh, fucking gracious. All right. Other than that, that's pretty much what was written down. And I didn't realize that it was actually spiritually fucking gifted. But then it gave me that realization. But have a good one. And hopefully you learned something from this one.